Welcome back to another video, YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button because we have a banger on our hands today. Today we have a big chop. This client is a new client. This is his very first haircut by me, and he is letting me cut off hair that he has been growing for 16 years. So today he's cutting it all off, and we're going to a low taper into waves. So I start by scissors cutting the hair first before I decide to put my big guard on it. And then continue just debulking it and getting it to a length where we're good enough to take him to the wash bowl so we can make sure we wash his hair. Now that his hair is washed, we go with the 1.5 guard with the lever closed. That is always my go-to length when it comes to my wavers. It just gets it all even for me. That again is a 1.5 guard with the lever closed, just going with the wave pattern.
So we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. I'm the type to X-Man out. I'm sharp like Wolverine. I pray all that pain leave my body. I'm cold like BioFreeze.
So my client said he didn't want his sideburns. So before I start the fade, I go ahead and clear that out the way just in case he decides to change his mind. Now he has no choice. But I like to put the picture in the frame, meaning that I like to line up that C curve. Because it's a low tape, I like to line up that C curve first. So now I put my guideline in almost to like about 3/4 of his ear. I just like to set my guideline in right there. And then I grab my trimmers with the lever open and I go up almost half an inch. I go up half an inch on that from that bottom guideline. Just making sure I keep everything nice and consistent. Take your time with this step, guys. No need to rush. Make sure everything is nice and consistent. And then I grab my number 1 guard and I go up a whole inch from that guideline we just created with the lever open. Once again, keeping everything neat and consistent. Brushing down when needed. After a couple strokes, you always want to brush the hair back down just so you can see what you're doing. Now that we have those 2 guidelines in, we're going to grab our 0.5 guard and we're going to put our lever halfway and we're going to attack that new line that we just created. This time we're going to be using the corners of our blade, utilizing the corners of our blade, and just kind of detail working around that area and just keep flicking at that area and just watch that area fade away. Now, you will probably have to play with the lever opening and closing, but mainly probably just closing. So you'll see me, I close my my lever in here as well, just still detailing because this is a more freehand work. You have to be very precise with this step. So now I'm gonna go ahead and debolt the top of the fade with the number 2 guard with the lever closed, just flicking at that line, softening it up and getting ready to finish the blend of this fade. Now I have the 1.5 guard on it, just doing the same thing that I just did with the 2 guard, flicking at that line, softening it up. And as you flick, we can see that that line is already softening it up. So now we're already halfway through the fade. Now the last guard that we will be using on this fade is the number 1 guard with the lever closed. Now, pay attention to how I'm using the corner of the blade, guys. Like I mentioned this earlier, it is important that you use the corner of the blade just to soften up that line and attack that line and just to make sure that we're staying in the area that we are supposed to. All right, now that we're done using the guards, you guys, we're going to go ahead and set those to the side. And we're just going to take our clipper with no guard, using the levers halfway and close, and flick at that very first guideline that we made, just flicking at the line, softening it up, still utilizing the corners of the blade, guys. Alright guys, now you just see me playing with the lever, detail working at this point I have the lever all the way open, and I'm just kind of flicking that individual hairs up in that fade that may be appearing too dark, and I'm just flicking it and softening that up, just the detail work. Also using the corners of the blade. I can only use the corners of the blade to do this part, and as you can see, the fade is turning out so much better. It's coming great. All right, guys, so now moving on to the back of the head, we're going to do the exact same steps that we just did on the side taper to the back taper. Remember, guys, just make sure that you stay consistent with your guidelines. And also, when it comes to detailing, make sure that you're using the corners of the blade and just not digging too deep and too far up into the other parts of other guidelines when dealing with, your specific guard at the moment.
That's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. We been grinding all day. They can't catch us in the wrong way. VNS, that's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. Later to my ex, I swear I can never. All I can say is, girl, thank you, now I'm better. Cause when life gets tough, you were changing like the weather. What we had was cold, but now I won't even sweat. Life ain't easy free though. You can't find no cheat code. The people guess it's different, man. We something like that diesel, but VNS unstoppable. Life ain't clear, no Huxtable. Now I realize, girl, I ain't really love you. I was comfortable. But we make it through the obstacles. We got it, it's possible. Claim they want some real beef, but they burgers impossible. VNS, we optimal. That boy's really comical. We just train different, like Denzel. We unstoppable, cause we gon' do it long. VNS, I'm sure we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. I'm the type that X-Man out. I'm sharp like Wolverine. I pray all that pain leave my body. I'm cold like BioFreeze. Through the storm I made it. I go stupid, call me Polo G. I heard they got a problem, forget you now, I guess I'm still up. And I ain't worried about nobody, cause you know I'ma make mine. Put the pause on it. You can't see me like it's FaceTime, but really I ain't worried. Cause we just living life, and we gon' do it our way. Cause man, it's only right. We been grinding all day. They can't catch us in the wrong way. VNS, that's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. We been grinding all day. They can't catch us in the wrong way. VNS, that's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way.
In the back of the truck, hands cuffed. I can admit I'm stressed and tired of writing letters to my ex. They should get the message. I bought my first with watches and chain. I made a great investment. Keep it in your family, build your wealth, and you won't need a blessing. The streets just made a GPS say that shit don't give directions. Tired of disrespecting my father's efforts by half-assed. Can't let these young ghosts get grades. You gotta have passion. Blaming all your faults on the devil, but it's ass back. When I bring up God, you pragmatic. Cancel stage for Granny ain't wake up. Try to run away, bro. I took a pay cut. Weight of the world, but the world wouldn't wait up. Promise that they can't let me leave you without a pay sale. Taking advantage of pain, I smile because I thrive in the state. My partner's head out told me so, stay in your lane. Say I'm ashamed, I know I changed.
They can't catch us in the wrong.
For all my wave clients and my low cut clients, I like to apply mousse into the hair and brush it in just to give it a real good lay down. And then I go behind it with the hair dryer and I just apply some heat and brush it in at the same time. And then after that, I'm going to apply a do-rag and let that sit and marinate so everything can lay down real good while I work on his facial hair. Now I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I did not notice this cowlick until it was time for the lineup. If I had noticed it beforehand, during the big chop process, during the process of me cutting his hair off, I definitely would have been more careful around the area. I'm not going to blame the client for not warning me. That's definitely my fault, like I said. So I'm going to take 100% blame for this. But it is just a cowlick, so the hair will grow back right there. So when I'm lining him up, I have to make sure that I stay in front of that spot, because hair does potentially grow right there. It just grows another direction, which is why it just cut lower than the rest of his hair. So as I'm lining my client up, I'm noticing that his hairline is very close to his eyebrows. So I'm making sure that the tip of my trimmers are not touching his eyebrows, because we do not want to go up in his eyebrows and make any cuts and mistakes. And also, my client was fully aware of this cowlick situation. So the enhancements that I'm going to apply to it, of course, it's not to cover up the mistakes, but it is a placeholder for the time being. So the next time I cut his hair, of course, we'll already know beforehand that a cowlick is right there. So we'll be way more careful and just treat a cowlick how it's supposed to be treated. You always want to cut with the grain of the cowlick, or else it will end up as and appear as a bald spot when in reality it's really just a cowlick. And a cowlick is when your hair grows in a kind of a swirl or a different direction than the rest of your hair. Basically, it is not laid down the same direction as the rest of the hair in your head. So I'm glad I was able to make this mistake in this tutorial and then notify you guys about it, so you guys can be careful and, just look out for any cowlicks. And clients, if you have any cowlicks that you are aware of, just let your barber know ahead of time, even though your barber is supposed to notice it as well, probably before you even say anything. But like I said, guys, it was a mistake on my end, so I take full responsibility for this mistake.
That's how we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. I'm the type that X-Man out. I'm sharp like Wolverine. I pray all that pain leave my body. I'm cold like BioFreeze. Through the storm I made it. I go stupid, call me Polo G. I heard they got a problem, forget you now, I guess I'm serious.
So now I just use my razor for detail cleaning and detail work, just to get the hairs around the hairline off his face and near his eyebrows, and just to give it that extra crispy look.
That's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way. We been grinding all day. They can't catch us in the wrong way. VNS, that's what we don't play. Say we gon' do it our way.
In the back of the truck, hands cuffed. I can admit I'm stressing. Tired of writing letters to my ex. They should get the message. I bought my first pair of watches and chain. I made a great investment. Keep it in your family, build your wealth, and you won't need a blessing. The streets just made a GPSA. That shit don't give directions. Tired of disrespecting my father's efforts by half-assing. Can't let these young ghosts get grades. You gotta have.
And then I like to just finish it off with fibers, because it gives it that more natural look, that natural feel, instead of the liquid enhancement just sitting there with a kind of shine. So that the fibers kind of just balance it out, and I really like that look that it gives it.
In the state, my partner's head out on me, so stay in your lane. Say I'm ashamed. I know.
If you enjoyed this tutorial and you found this tutorial helpful, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And be sure to share with a friend or two so they can also find this video helpful as well. And I appreciate everyone who stayed to the end of this tutorial. And I wish you guys luck in you guys' career out there. Go out and be great, and always keep God first. And stay encouraged, stay consistent, and stay persevering. And remember, it's a marathon, not a race. You will not get it all at one time, but with consistency and practice, you will get to where you want to be. Take it from me, guys, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.